This is the first episode of the solo mercenary series. I'll be cutting down raids into short episodes, editing in tips and information as each raid progresses. You can use scouts to scope out areas before you push in. They'll always shout in Russian when they spot a PMC. Put a bullet in this scav and clear ourselves a path out of Beluga. If you've got a spare slot in your container, I'd always recommend taking in a spare stack of ammunition. This is just to make sure you don't run out of ammunition mid-raid. A lot of players make the mistake of running into locations before scoping them out. You're highly likely to run into an ambush doing this. Take it a little bit slower and you'll survive far more engagements and raids. When you're running as a solo, you only have one set of eyes and ears, so it's always important to take your time clearing your angles as you move out of locations. A pile of dead bodies like this could easily be used as bait. It's always best to check around for enemy PMCs or player scouts before pushing forward. Right now though, we're going to push around to check 13 and check if the Mark room is still closed. If you have to open a door to enter a location, I'd highly recommend closing it behind you. This will give you an extra audio cue in the event that another player enters the building. Marked room keys are generally expensive, but as you'll see, if you can extract with the loot, they'll pay themselves off tenfold. If you're planning on staying in raid for a while, I'd recommend buying and bringing in some food and drink. Although once you learn the maps, you'll easily be able to find them in raid. As you traverse and learn maps, you'll start to find alternate routes. These will be accessible by breaching doors or using specific keys. Right here I heard what sounded like a footstep to my right hand side. The last thing you want to do whilst looting is get caught off guard. So if you hear something, react to it. Fire tier ammo is going to cut through armor very quickly. If you're on the streets, you're going to want to watch the turret on the BTR. If it twitches when you have line of sight on it, that means it's aggroed and it will shoot you on sight. Keys to locked doors aren't always expensive, but they can provide you with some of the highest tier loot in the game. Unfortunately here we don't find much of value, but 90% of the time there'll be at least one high value loot spawn. As we're pushing back out here, I'm going to try my best to check areas that have line of sight. As we're running down the street, there's a severe lack of cover, so we're just going to full send the sprint all the way down. You can see in the top right there's less than 10 minutes left in the raid. Usually by this point, most of the maps are ghost town. So you're going to have a much easier time extracting with the loot you gathered during the raid. Huge thank you to any of you that made it to the end of the video. More guides and episodes of the solo mercenary series will be dropping soon.